I'm always forgetting to kill the fans. Oops. I had it perfect. All right. Alright guys, how's it going? This is the live stream for the 2K22 Ringside Report. As always, I'm your host, Adam from FWCI. Ring is over here. Alright, that's what I need. Get my screen all set up properly so I can see everybody and see what's going on. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to see how many people are watching, but that's absolutely fine. So this thing starts in 60 seconds. If it's anything like the last one, we'll then be sitting there for like another 10 minutes. So, let me know in the comments what you guys want to hear about GM mode. I want to know more about this duration thing. I want to know more about the number of matches that we're allowed to have. I'd also like to know more about the customization options. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of that in this stream. So, this should be pretty bloody interesting. Oh my god, it is so close. Where are we? 2 minutes away. Alright, here comes the shitty intro. I get some viewers as we go along, but you may be just watching this on the channel tomorrow or something like that. So I'm going to be pausing it as we go through. I'm going to be having a bit of a chat about what they say. I just hope that we get some decent microphone quality from the devs this time. The last time they did this, it was really hard to hear certain members of that team. So if their microphone quality has been increased significantly, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because it was a bit of a mess. These intros are so incredibly cool. What up, viewer? Let me know in the comments what you're keen to see on this stream. I'm excited. I think we've been going into this a little bit pessimistically, and it'll be nice to see some music. Yeah, I think we've been a little bit negative about the build-up to this game. But they've also given us a lot of reason to feel that way. Alright, is this just going to be the trailer? Oh, no, there we go, right into it.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lionel Jinx. I am the creative director of the WWE 2K franchise, and with me once again,
Lionel Jinx.
Hey y'all, I am Christina DM Pham, art producer on WWE 2K22, and welcome to episode 2 of Ringside Report, brought to y'all by the teams at 2K and Visual Concepts.
Now, if you missed the first episode of the Ringside Report with that sweet gameplay, click the link below this video to check it out. But in the meantime, we're here to provide regular updates and deep dives into the many areas and features of WWE 2K22.
And of course, you'll hear from both Lionel and myself on a regular basis through the game's launch in March on game updates, DLC, patches, and more. And also, again, we're not doing this alone because we're bringing the homies from the dev team with us. All right, so in one of our previous announcements, we ever so briefly called out the new MyGM Mode, where you take on the role of a WWE general manager to prove whether you have what it takes to run the most successful brand in sports entertainment. So please join me in welcoming 3 folks who were instrumental in making MyGM a reality. Design director Alan Flores, senior designer Chris Mecenas, and producer Brian Fritz. Y'all, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, I have my MyGM outfit
Just eat the
on
damn
today.
apple.
I suited up for this
Very fancy.
conversation.
Very fancy.
Nice. Like Stephanie McMahon.
So let's get right into it. We're going to roll the footage. To start off, who are the GMs and what does selecting one versus another mean for the player experience?
Yeah.
So we let you choose a different starting point. You can choose your own GM, or you can choose a brand that you want to manage. So having those different combinations of things can affect the way that your game is going to play throughout. So you can play as Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, Stephanie McMahon, Shane McMahon, or a custom GM. You can play as Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or NXT UK. And it's really pretty interesting the way that those things combine, because each one of those choices is going to give you a very powerful power card that you can play throughout the course of the game. So like, for example, Adam Pearce will allow you to, he's got an instigator card. If you
Each GM will have, so like I said, I'm going to be pausing this, so I'm not going to be live on this for very long. Adam Pearce's access instigator increases the levels of all active rivalries by 1. Okay.
play that, then all of your rivalries will be increased by 1 level. Or if you play as Sonya Deville, you'll be able to boost the morale of your entire roster.
Plus 15.
To me, the next part of the mode is my favorite part, is selecting the draft, right? So selecting your superstars, but I always find trouble like trying to, select a balanced roster, because I get, my eyes get big whenever I see like those big names on the board that's still available, and then I run out of money. So I know there's a lot that goes into booking a balanced roster. And so can you talk more about that process and help me become a better GM?
That's also my favorite part of the mode as well. Once you get into the draft, basically that's your first look at all the superstars. And what you're going to find is you're going to see a lot of different stats that are going to stand out to you.
The shitty mic.
You're going to see things like their class, their
Oh, no, it was a different
alignment,
one last time.
their popularity, their stamina. But what's really important to look at kind of early on is what their class is. So like there's giants, cruisers, specialists. And what you're going to want to do is like draft a kind of variety of different superstars that kind of go well together. And we do a decent job at telling you like, oh, these are going to be good matchups to help.
So what does this say? Tamina, as a rule breaker giant, Tamina would pair particularly well against Sasha Banks, a fan favorite cruiser. Okay, that looks interesting, that there would be matchups between
help you along the way.
Different.
Obviously, you can draft whoever you want. Make
builds,
your dream
whatever
roster.
they call them.
Speaking of dream roster, players, they can upload their own custom draft pool that include created superstars too. So they're going to be able to go wild with that.
Yes.
When they create their custom superstars, it will generate a cost for them. And speaking of which, when you're drafting, something to also be very careful about is how much each person is it's going to cost when you draft them. You have a budget when you go into it, and
each GM will start with a budget of $2,750,000. GMs will take turn drafting. There'll be 8 rounds of drafting. After the 8th round, drafting becomes optional. Okay, so you only need 8 wrestlers. GMs can opt out or draft until they're out of cash. GMs can press the R3 button to get recommendations on who to draft. You can also press square to get more information about a superstar.
And, if you spend all your money after the draft, you might not have money to sign free agents, enhancement talent, legends.
Okay, sign
There's
legends.
a lot of things you can do with money, so you got to be very careful.
I'm exactly like Lionel. I go in, I draft all the available superstars I can, and I go in with $0 trying to set up this entire show, and I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. Oh, no.
Yeah.
If you have the budget, you can have awesome matches in Hell in a Cell or the TLC, but that cost a little bit extra money to set up. So if you don't have the budget, then you're stuck running one-on-one normal matches or tag team matches with, no awesome match types with these show legit.
All right, so this was what I was wondering. High school gym. Yeah, so this is like... Fire Pro Wrestling. Different arenas cost different money to like run it in. Wow, it looks like they've taken a lot of influence from Fire Pro.
Logistics. You can have that high school gym arena, or you can move up into like concert halls and even these giant arenas that can give you bonuses, not only just to your show ratings, but also if you achieve certain little goals assigned to those things.
We have a store.
Oh, what do we got here? Power cards. All right, so this is what you can assign to a GM mode. So fixed match guarantees that the chosen superstar will win their match this week. Okay.
Where you can buy different
I can see the
cards.
benefit of that. Oh, fuck. Send the chosen superstar to a top spa to recover 18 or more stamina this week. Yep, that's a Fire Pro Wrestling thing.
Useful thing.
Send the chosen superstar. Oh, same thing.
It's like there's a health spa. So say I have a superstar that's feeling... Maybe I put him in 5 Hell in a Cells in a row. So he's a little bit injured or something like that.
Triple H, look, you need to take better care of your superstars. I understand sometimes they need to be in a big match, but make sure you plan around that. And that's because Finn Balor's
a little bit down.
Thing is
so they're 15. Like, all right, here's a health spot. You go there for a week and rest, and then you boost some of your stamina. Just take a little bit of a break. But we also have a system of commissioner goals where basically Triple H will show up, will say, I want you to not don't put Drew McIntyre in a match this week. And if you do that, then you can earn a power card from him. And some of those are very powerful things that will boost your ratings, boost your superstars. It's really...
Do not put Nia Jax in a match this week, and you get a power card, reduce the injury time by 3 weeks. Oh, Rowdy Roddy Piper's contract is expiring. And then who was this scrub here? Contract for Silence, his name is. Expires at the end of week 11. Let Silence's contract expire.
Be a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, see, I tend to be, the guy who just follows the rules, but I know, Alan, you always play like the villain type of GM.
That's why my eyes
are it's weird because, I don't really consider myself a bad guy when I'm doing it. My superstars react that way. So basically what I do is I will book them in the hardest matches I can to really boost my ratings all the time. And they'll complain. They'll come to me in the dramas, go like...
You imbecile, I warned you that was going to happen. We're not machines. How about you take better care of your
I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling injured. And then if I actually put them in another match, they become injured. Then they'll come to me like, what the heck are you doing? I'm injured. I knew this was going to happen. And then there's a tendency where they might want to leave. So I try and, use some of the stuff to boost them morale a bit, to get them to stay around, give them a little bit extra money so they can hang around and help fill out my brand still.
So I want to get into, once you actually build out your shows for the week, let's talk about some of the different variations of how you can view your show, because there's the option to simulate an entire show. You can play these matches, but then also one of my favorites is that you can spectate as... Yeah, exactly what Lionel's doing. You can spectate.
The spectating thing does sound interesting, but...
Let's call out that spectate mode is exclusive to MyGM. So, Chris, I want you to talk about what this means for the player
Charlotte.
experience.
She looks pretty lifeless, though.
Obviously, you can play your matches. We really wanted to make sure you were able to do that. Another really cool thing is, and I know, maybe you thought that you wouldn't be seeing your GM anytime in the ring, but you're going to be able to use your GM and interfere in matches as well. Whether that's one of the ones you picked or one of your created ones, you finally get to see yourself in some action.
I don't care for that.
But Christina, like you're mentioning, spectate, you're going to be able to do a really good job at basically being in the production truck and acting as if you were running the show from that side. And it's really cool. It's something we haven't seen before. I don't believe so.
Okay.
You get to change the cameras at will. And basically, how you think you should run the show, you finally get the chance to run the show that way.
It looks a little bit funny from that stagnant kind of angle.
A 5-star rating out of there.
That's something I think I could get.
That's probably what you would do. But if you really want to get the highest ratings, you're going to have to really be good at your matchups because it's the viewers that are going to give you your ratings at the end of the day.
Why you always gotta pick on me though?
Yeah, I feel like Chris is saying Lionel isn't great at building these matchups, so he's not going to get these five-star ratings.
Chris is looking at my stats and he's just seeing like, yeah, I never got out of the high school gym because I keep blowing my budget. You know, like I don't listen to, you know, I listen to Triple H all the time, so you know, like I'm just a rule follower, I guess, man.
Brian, I do want you to go into what happens post-match.
Definitely. So regardless of whether you are playing, spectating, or simulating, after you are completing your match card.
So what is this? Why have they got all these scrub made-up characters in here? This is worrying. Silence reveled in getting in the crowd's nerves as the contest began, knowing most of them were supporting his opponent. The match followed extreme rules to build some extra excitement. The rivalry between these superstars drew no extra interest.
You go to a nice post-match breakdown screen, get a nice little match report that you can click on for all of your matches to show you, like,
interesting.
Well, when you went in this match, you can see that these styles didn't quite click, or it was, you know, people were hoping to see maybe a higher popularity superstar in the main event, and we're surprised to see this superstar in there. So there's a lot of really cool things that can really help out for people like Lionel, who maybe just go in and do whatever the heck they want.
Here we go. just gonna keep piling it on, huh? See how it is.
And then we get a nice breakdown screen that shows you exactly what you did that impacted your revenue, that impacted your viewership. And as Alan alluded to earlier, there's also some fun social media posts on the side when you get to these screens.
Oh, God. If you ask me, Sonya Deville is playing with fire. Not the smartest move to interfere in a match and pick favorites on your own team. Good show tonight. Becky Lynch dropped a great promo tonight. Yeah, this is very NBA-like.
I'm giving you hints, but also giving you a little bit of flavor going into your specific MyGM season. It's just cool having that kind of flavor, that kind of personality to MyGM that kind of grows as your season grows throughout the 15, 25, or 50-week season.
I'm glad you brought that up. But what can our fans come to expect when they actually play through a complete session?
Well, I mean, the goal of the mode is to win, basically. So you decide if you're going to play against an AI GM or you can play against another person. You can play local co-op. We've even figured out a way to do some remote play via Steam remote play type of thing. So you can play a little bit of online play that way. So basically, your goal is to win. So throughout the course of the week, you're going to put on weekly shows. You want to make those great, but you're building towards a pay-per-view every 5 weeks. So then there's real WWE pay-per-views. There's like Backlash and Extreme Rules, with ending up with your WrestleMania at the end. So on your courses you're going through there, you're trying to build up money, unlock new arenas, get new logistics, get better.
Okay, so the 15, 30, and 50 week thing, so that's more of it sounds like that's going to be like Mania to Mania, SummerSlam to Mania, and like Royal Rumble season. That's what I'm getting from that. That's cool in a way, but it's also weird that you're drafting a roster and trying to build it from scratch in that shorter period of time.
Crew, all that.
Tell me more about
make your show bigger and bigger, make more money, and then go into WrestleMania with a bunch of killer rivalries, put on your best show, and then just go in and destroy your opponent. That's the goal.
So you mean how I'm going to destroy Chris the next time we play multiplayer? Because I mean, now that I got all the tips, I'm out of the high school gym, putting a smackdown on you, Chris. Done.
Yeah, I don't know if you got all the tips. Actually, speaking of like going through the season, and Alan mentioned this a little bit earlier, he mentioned the word dramas. And basically what dramas are is basically you as a GM get to interact with either the commissioner, which is Triple H, or your superstars, and they're going to be asking you.
So what is this? They love us. Pierce, don't you think it's time to take the next step? I'm taking the course about some better effect packages so that the talent can take the next step into superstardom.
For like
okay, then you get the opportunity
or, like,
to reply.
Rematches, or Triple H will be saying you're doing this kind of poor.
Just quick reminder, fans want to see great matches, blah blah.
And those are ways of
to maintain your variety bonus. Have at least one tag match or one solo match. Book both male and female superstars in fights, and use superstars representing all 5 fighting classes across the match card. All right, interesting. So that sounds more like how the old GM mode, if you're in the right city or if you put them in the right type of match that match that person, then
getting tips as well. Like Triple H will tell you what you should be doing better. So I really hope you're paying attention to those line out, because you're going to probably need those along the way. I don't need those, but I do want to make sure that I'm keeping my superstars happy. That's something that you're going to have to also manage.
Oh no, Walter is here. I'm not happy losing my championship last week. As a former champion, I'm enacting my rematch clause. I won a championship match against Mysterio. Nobody else better get a title shot before me. Slap.
Throughout the season,
sure thing, Walter.
Happy to see them around.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I love that you guys have done was building in those tips that you talk about. Like, even like when you talk about the draft, like that little hint at the bottom of like, hey, here's who we recommend you guys draft based on who you already drafted. And
okay, so this is so that you get more of a balanced roster across all the different like archetypes. That's kind of interesting. Hopefully there's a lot of, although if you've got custom rosters, you can really have fun with that. Drew McIntyre, Edge,
so like we hold your hand throughout the entire process, which to me, it makes it way less intimidating when jumping in to this brand new mode to our game.
People want to draft their top guys, the guys that they like, which is great, but it's like, well, maybe this person will match up a little bit better with that person, just so they understand it, as opposed to just going, I have these 2 top stars, what's going on? They're not getting the ratings that I want. It's like, well, you have 2 guys that are slowly plotting around each other, and they're not putting on a good match, right? So that's what we're trying to help people put on the best matches possible.
Big Show versus
that's
Kane
one point when you're talking about putting on those matches and pairing people up properly. There, at the very end, when it shows you the match breakdown, you'll get a certain amount of stars, obviously, but then there'll be comments like 1.5 stars, disappointing, and that hurts. That could have picked any word, disappointing. I'm like, oh man.
But Christina, does that hurt more than like the fans calling you out for having a terrible show? I get, man, that stuff. I get butthurt.
Disappointing.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
You didn't like my show.
I mean, it just compiles at that point, so it's.
There's nothing worse than being a SmackDown show and just seeing someone like, oh, Raw really did great this week. What happened, SmackDown?
Yeah. Y'all, we are just about out of time. So I got one final question. So you're pulling up MyGM for the first time. Which GM are you picking? What brand are you running? And who's your first draft pick? Let's start with Lionel, because there's been a lot of Smack
starting
talk.
my own one. I'm getting a Paul Heyman
Smack talk, so I'm gonna stick with SmackDown because I'm gonna lay the SmackDown on Chris. And Alan, if you want to step in too, like I got it all for you guys. Brian, me and you are cool. I ain't got nothing for you, man. And for my GM, I am choosing Adam Pearce for obvious reasons. We have a lot of things in common. Shiny domes. But yeah,
maybe I should pick Adam Pearce as well. Right there. Shiny domes.
No, wait, hold on. Chris, you've done the most smack talking today, so you're next.
I feel like it was back and forth. I think it was equal.
Get a better microphone, Chris.
Well, man, he took my show. I was gonna go SmackDown, but I don't,
because you was talking all that mess. I gotta go SmackDown.
You know what? I'm gonna go NXT UK, and I'm gonna beat his SmackDown easy. Because you'll see what their power card is, and then you'll be scared. Then you'll be scared. But for my GM, I'm gonna go with Shane McMahon because we also have something in common.
Shane is NXT UK.
Oh, it's gonna be about the ages.
William Regal.
That's fired, man. I'm gonna practice my people's eyebrow, man. I'm
2006, and William Regal was dominating.
With that candy ass.
All right, Alan, who you got?
I definitely have to go with Sonya Deville because she has her power card is basically she boosts the morale of
the
roster.
What a coincidence. They all happen to pick a different GM.
Driving people to the ground, making them very upset. They come and complain to me like, he's going to take care of them, make sure that it's all good. So they're going to hang out. They're going to be okay. Then I would probably pick Raw because that allows you to basically mess with the other show and veto some of their superstars. But then once again, when I'm doing my draft, I like to draft in pairs to look at guys that match up really well. So I'd probably go with Walter and Rey Mysterio because you have the big guy and the little guy. They're going to put on a great match, and they're going to make sure
that would be a
together.
fantastic match, actually. I don't know if I'd want to put Rey.
That was a very thoughtful
in the position
answer.
to take a bunch of chops from Walter.
Very, very thoughtful.
Smack talk.
Brian, how about you?
Well, I'm going to go with probably the best GM you can pick, and that is
Stephanie McMahon.
Me. I'm going to be the GM that I pick. Because like I said, we could have custom GMs, so I'm going to make my own character through creations. You can even download them through community creations.
And is Christina going to be Stephanie?
I'm going to put myself as the GM. I'm going to be, and even as a created GM, you still get an awesome power card. So I'll get the ability to raise the popularity of my lowest popularity superstar by 20 right off the bat. So that's awesome. And it fits with what I want to do, because I want to go to NXT where I get all my where I get a title match that gets a bonus to my ratings. And I'm gonna draft John Cena. I'm gonna put him with a bunch of maybe lower popularity up and coming superstars, and have like a little David versus Goliath thing going on, you know. Maybe a little John Cena versus Dexter Lumis or something, you know, for WrestleMania. I think we can make that happen.
I mean, Dexter Lumis is confirmed.
The fans want to see it.
I don't know if we have that confirmed.
Nice.
All right, I forgot who was my first pick. I'm picking some enhancement talent, a free agent. I'm gonna pick the Silence or whatever the mime is. That's my guy. I mean, he's gonna tear you up, Chris.
Well, I'm going Roman Reigns, so you can acknowledge that.
Is that there because
it's gonna be like this.
They don't have enough people on the
Right.
roster to fill it out?
So Christina, right back at you.
The
Who
enhancement
you
talent.
All right. Well, initially I was going to go Stephanie McMahon, but I have this really fresh MyGM suit on, so I'm going to go with Brian's answer.
That's
I'm
right.
going to
That's
create
right.
myself. I'm going to run Raw, and I'm going to pick the EST Bianca Belair.
What?
And then I'm going to go against Brian.
Ooh, there we go.
Oh,
You do the Bianca taunt, like twirling your hair.
she's gonna rock that ponytail.
All right, y'all.
I guess
That is
it
all
counts.
the time we have for today. Thank you so much to Alan, Brian, and Chris for joining us on today's
Not Chris.
episode.
That's great. Nice.
We're going to try this again.
Oh my God,
All right,
stop doing
y'all.
these.
That's it for our time
Awkward
today. Thank you
recut,
to
re-
Chris,
retakes.
Alan, and Brian for joining us on today's episode about MyGM. And if you missed our kickoff episode about all things gameplay, click the link below to check it out.
Okay.
Thank you all for tuning in.
That's it, is
We
it?
will talk to you again soon. And in the meantime, check us out on social media.
Is that
WWE
Eugene
Game.
Levy from
Peace.
Bye.
that new movie? Okay. So that's it. We done? Very interesting. I don't know. What did you guys think about that? It was a lot more than I thought. The one thing I wanted to know about was the time frames. Why 15, 30, and 50 weeks? It just doesn't seem to make a great deal of sense to me. But they told us a lot more. I like the fact that you have to try and balance things out with the different archetypes and things like that. It does look like they've put quite a lot of thought into it, which is promising. Very promising. Again, I don't like the idea that it only goes for 50 weeks. That just feels like it's very much against what GM mode usually is. But let me know in the comments. We'll have a bit of a chat about it. I don't know, they didn't say much that really made me jump up and down. Raiders was impressed, but he's only just got up out of bed, so who knows what that's all about. What was it that impressed you the most? I don't like the fact that there was still the limited brands. I think not allowing the player to merge. And what was going on with the online multiplayer? He kind of briefly said you could kind of do a little bit of online multiplayer. Like, I don't know, they certainly didn't provide all the information that we were hoping for, I feel like. It's a hard one to think about. These developer, what they were called, Ringside News or whatever they're called, they're really bad. Like, they're so fake, they're so phony, they're doing their best to like act all like hip and cool. Like, you can tell, typical WWE fashion, they've been like instructed to just be like youthful and like jokey around and stuff like that. Maybe that's just what these people are like, but it feels very, very forced, and I don't know. I don't appreciate it. See what else there was to talk about. The draft. I usually will record this and then like edit it. I'm just doing this completely live now because it is 3:25 a.m. and I definitely don't feel like editing this before I go to bed. We saw the power cards. That's another interesting fact to, give different GMs more, like different types of boosts. Like I like the one that, you can increase your lowest guy by 20 points. Like that's honestly the power card that I would probably choose to have. So I guess I can make my Paul Heyman general manager and use that. Honestly, I think I'll be using Paul Heyman as a general manager in general. I don't know. What's some legendary general managers? We've got Mike Adamle. Maybe Mike Adamle can be the GM. AJ Lee was GM for a little while. Oh, Sheriff Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because I figure if you can use like a creative thing, you can also just, copy the characters that are in the game and just save that as like a separate thing. So Sheriff Stone Cold Steve Austin. That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. I don't think we can get Kurt Angle in the wheelchair. Who do you guys want to use as your GM? Let me know in the comments what GM you want to see for this one. I'm mixed feelings about this Ringside Report. Some things they showed us looked very interesting, but I really still don't feel like they gave us a clear outline of what do you call it? Like the actual structure of how that season mode is going to go, how that GM mode is going to go. Why is it this length? A few other things as well were a little bit... I'm conspicuous by their absence. Why are they not talking more about, like, online multiplayer? Somebody was talking earlier. I was doing a live stream, and somebody mentioned that with the... I've completely lost my train of thought now as well. I think I need to go to bed. It's 3:30 in the morning. Let me know in the comments. I will be checking the comments and engaging with you guys as well. If this stream, I look a little bit wrecked, like I say, it is fucking... Why are you dropping this thing at 3 a.m. my time, 2K? But keen to hear what you guys think about MyGM Mode. I will be live streaming this, so if you haven't subscribed already, definitely do. Because I live in Australia in a different time zone, pretty sure I get it a few hours before the US does. So if you want the first look, you can subscribe here, and there's a good chance that's where you'll see it. So thanks for checking this one out, everyone. Blah, 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 blah. I just want to go to sleep. I'm so fucking tired. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.